What's up everyone, Adam here from Cape Crawlers, and this is the SCX24 Jeep Gladiator brushless conversion. Welcome back to the channel everybody. I have a very special video for you today. It's actually part one of a series of videos that we're going to do. We're going to convert the SCX24 Jeep Gladiator to a brushless system. So in this part of the video, we're going to take a look at the ESC. I have got the Furitek Lizard Pro combo here. We're going to do some tests to see what advantages you gain just using this ESC upgrade before we put the actual brushless motor in. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this. We're going to do some before runs on the indoor course here in our studio, and then we're going to throw the ESC in here and see what benefits you get just from doing this simple combo, this simple upgrade, before we switch it over to the brushless motor. So I'm very excited. This has been a long time in the making. I didn't intend to do it so quickly, but I just couldn't wait any longer. There's just a bunch of great technology out there. The motor we're going to be using for the conversion, we're going to do this new Mofo RC slow motion pancake brushless motor, the SMP motor. So this thing looks gorgeous. So I'm very excited to put that in here. But we'll do that in part two. We'll do the brushless motor conversion. For this video, we're going to focus on installation of the ESC and doing some calibration and some course runs with just this simple mod. So let's dive in. Okay, for this test, we're going to focus primarily on the vertical climbing because we really want to showcase these slow crawl abilities here. So we're going to do a stock test here. This is our baseline run. Let's take a look at some of the real kind of crawler specific areas here. Let's look at the hot tub. We'll do this first. We kind of crawl our way out of the hot tub. Yeah, the V2 electronics on these work pretty well. Even though you don't have kind of the three-speed option on the remote with the V2, it's still got a nice smoothness to it. This has the Endura Pro 50 high torque motor in it, which is pretty jumpy for a brushed motor, I gotta say. Let's try the chute. We're gonna go straight up the chute here. Hell's Gate right here. Okay. Let's do the chute one more time so we have good baseline here. Switching sides here to look at the escalator. Alright, so those were some of our baseline runs there. So we focused primarily on the vertical lines on Mini Moab, which are the most challenging lines on our indoor course here. I would take it outside and do some test runs outside, but it's actually raining all day, and I didn't want to wait. I was too excited, so we're going to focus on the indoor stuff. We'll do some follow-up videos on the outdoor courses, but for now we're going to focus on Mini Moab. So step one here, what are we going to do? You see I got the C10 here, and the reason for that is because I have to switch out the receiver components. So the V1 electronics are what I need for this conversion. The V2 and the Gladiator aren't going to work. So little C10 here is going to get a brain transplant, I guess. So we're going to swap out the electronics between the two of these so that I can use the receiver and transmitter and everything from the C10 in our conversion here. So I'm going to do that swap, and then we'll get into installing the Furitek module. Okay, here we are with our conversion. So we're back. So this is so weird. Like, we got V2 electronics on the C10, V1 on the Gladiator. So let's try this out. So this is the Gladiator right here. One thing, since the Gladiator has the portal axles, it's backwards to go forward because the throttle's reversed. But thankfully with the Furitek app, we can switch that on the fly, I am pretty sure. So that's looking good. V2 on the C10. Looks good. Cool, so let's do the next step. We're gonna plug in the Furitek and the Gladiator. All right, let's do this. So we're gonna do this together. Full disclosure, I've not done this prior to the video. I've not rehearsed this. I've glanced at the instructions. I've looked at a lot of videos this afternoon on how to do it. Looks pretty straightforward. So we're gonna learn it together. So here's the module right here. Pretty simple stuff. Motor input right there. This plugs into the stock ESC. There's our Bluetooth module for the battery connection. So let's see what we got. All right. Here's our motor here. So even though this is set up for a brushless motor, which is why it's got the 3-prong, we've got a 2-prong, but it'll still work. So we're going to find a way to snug that in there. I think we're in there. That was a little ugly getting that in there, but I think we're good. Try it out. Next, we're going to plug this into our ESC here. We want channel 2. So the stock ESC says steering, then channel 2. We want that one. I'm going to unplug my servo so I can see a little better. And finally, let's plug the battery in. So now we're all plugged in, we're ready to go. I'm going to hit this little power switch here. We got juice, lights on, so we're going to switch over to the phone so I can hook this up through the Bluetooth. Okay, let's launch the Furitek app here. Right now it's searching for the car via Bluetooth. You can see it there on that first wavelength. When you first get into the app, it's going to make you set your password. I'm not going to show you my password, you creeps. All right, now that we're in, so we need to configure this thing. It's set up by default to a brushless system, so we're going to change that to a brushed system. Next, we're going to go into the throttle settings. In here, we're going to calibrate our throttle. You can see it's a little bit off right now, so we're going to calibrate it. First thing it's going to do is 0 throttle. So you're just going to leave the trigger alone, let it set its thing. Next we're going to do full throttle, squeeze it all the way. And finally we'll do reverse. Should be good to go. Now it's zeroed out there, perfect. So now we're good. One of the things that's super cool about this is that you can change the throttle direction really easy. You know, on the V2 electronics, you just have a switch to reverse your throttle. And here you can go right into the app and do it on the fly, which is really cool for the V1 electronics, because otherwise you have to switch wires around, and that's a pain. So that's a cool feature of the app here. There's also some great tuning, some really cool screens here for the throttle telemetry, lots of different graphs and throttle curves, and virtually endless ways to play around and tune this thing. So the app is really, really versatile and really detailed. Super, super cool. Guys, I am legit so excited for this. You don't even know. You probably do know. Anyone who has done this conversion, you probably know exactly what I mean. This is like the Concord moment for the Gladiator. I've been waiting for this for so long. So let's check out some of the modalities we got here. So on the V1, electronics. We got low, medium, and high modes here. So just poking around here, put it on low. Whoa, it's very slow on low. Also does not have a lot of juice to get us out of there. It's low. Let's try medium. Medium's nice. It's got a, yeah, that's still real slow. It's got a good response to it. Let's try medium. Oh, look, it's so nice, super slow and smooth too. Much smoother than stock. That's on medium. Right, let's try it on high. It is significantly less jumpy, I feel, right off the bat. I can tell that it doesn't have the same snap. And when it does get stuck and I have to give it some significant throttle, it doesn't lurch like it did with the stock ESC combo. So let's try the shoot. We'll try a medium on the shoot here. Very slow, very smooth and controlled. Although I did get stuck there at the top with medium, and it was almost full throttle there at the peak. Let's try it on high. Definitely smoother and more controlled. Like I said, when you do have to give it the throttle, it doesn't lurch ahead like it did with the previous setup. So let's switch spots. We'll go over to the escalator. So now let's try the escalator on medium. Man, the slow speed control is just crazy. Very, very smooth right there. Let's try it on high. Oh yeah, just putting the power down so smooth. Alright, that really showcased what a difference it made. That was great. Okay, for our final test line, let's try Hell's Gate here. I'm going to try medium. I'm using a lot of throttle on this vertical. Yeah, that was full throttle there. Once I got over that sticky spot, it wasn't bad though. Let's try it on high. Very smooth. A little jumpy there, getting out of that hole. Still very smooth though. So that was being conservative. What if we start thrashing it? Let's see what this thing can do if we gain any more speed on like the top end and some aggressive driving. Definitely feels more punchy, I gotta say. Oh yeah. All right, let's thrash this up the escalator here. It definitely has more response. It is very snappy. So what do we think? As a standalone modification, is the Furitek Lizard Pro ESC worth it? I'm not sure. On a brushed motor, I'm not sure if it is. There's a lot of pros to this thing. So number one, let's talk about installation. It was very easy to install. I'm very impressed. I was kind of sweating the installation. Anything doing these ESC mods and you get into the electronics of it, I get really nervous, even if it's plug and play. But even for someone like me, it was no problem. Like, it literally was just plug and play. The app was easy to find, easy to download, easy to sign into, easy to sync, and worked immediately. So from an ease of use, ease of install, this thing was amazing. So I'm very impressed with how quickly I was able to get it up and running, and very cool. The app itself is awesome. The customization that you can do with that app is excellent. So if you can tinker and tune to your heart's content. Very, very cool stuff. I loved that I was able to switch my throttle direction to accommodate for the portals. I didn't have to do any reversing of wires or anything like that, like you do on some of the other V1s without the tuner there. So that was great. The calibration was super easy. So that part is really neat. The app is really cool. From a performance standpoint, we did notice some performance gains, or at least I certainly did. I hope it translated on video, but it was much, much smoother from a crawling perspective and a climbing perspective. We really focused on the vertical climbs and some of the technical climbs on Mini Moab out here, and it did a great job. It smoothed out this brushed high torque motor from Endura that's really snappy as it is, and really made it more manageable, especially on the slow crawls going up the obstacles. I was impressed with the difference that it made on the throttle curve without even adjusting anything, just in general. On the 3 modes on the transmitter, low mode was basically non-existent, which was a little disappointing. Medium was definitely useful, but low just wouldn't even move the Gladiator. Maybe on a flat surface it would have, but it wasn't happening what we were trying to do with today. So medium worked well. I was happy with the medium. It was only a couple spots it got stuck. I think it was just on Hell's Gate on some of the really gnarly kind of finishing sections there. It got stuck in medium, but it still worked really well. Super duper smooth. It felt like it had a great torque curve to it and very impressive from that regards. The high mode worked excellent. Again, it smoothed it out really well, but also had a ton of power. Felt faster, more powerful on the top end when he really got aggressive with the throttle. It definitely seemed like it gave it more response and more power on the top end too. So the more I'm talking about this, the more it sounds like a great idea, but I just don't know if $80 is worth it for what you get. You do get a lot, but I'm not sure as a standalone item if it's worth it. You do also get, one thing I didn't test today was you get the capability to run the 3S batteries and 3S power. That's a big one. And maybe that would have changed my mind, but because I don't have a 3S battery to test that out on. But this gives you that option, which kind of opens up a whole nother realm of power and options in that regard. So we couldn't necessarily test that, and that might have changed my mind. I'm slowly kind of converting at this point, the more I talk about the pros of this thing and the benefits that we got out of it. But I think I'm still going to stick to my guns here and say that as a standalone modification, I don't know if it's worth the $79.99 to pick it up. If you're going to do a brushless conversion, and this is just a stop along the journey to that point, then absolutely I would recommend the Furitek. It was so easy to install, worked excellent, no issues. It was just a few minutes getting it set up and up and running. So definitely very happy with the product. Definitely recommend it. Not sure if I would for a standalone mod, but we are not doing it as a standalone mod. We are indeed on that journey to a brushless conversion. So that's the next step for us. But let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree. Yeah, are you running a Furitek ESC on your brushed motor? Curious to hear if anyone's doing that as kind of their go-to setup, or has everyone just done the full conversion? I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts. As always, I appreciate your guys' time. Please like and subscribe if you've not done so. Stick around because we're going to be doing some super cool stuff. Next video is going to be awesome. We're going to do the brushless conversion. We're going to throw in the Mofo RC slow motion pancake SMP brushless motor. Super excited. It's going to be awesome. So stick around and we'll see you in the next video.